as soon he feels the power, he feels everything, he's gonna be the same.
There's no way Crawford can hurt you.
We need to be very focused and be careful. Anybody can carry you, right? But if you're smart and you know how to box and everything.
A blazing and brilliant threat has been delivered by Canelo. It is not enough for Terence Crawford to just stand before him. Instead of running and expecting him to do it, he must be prepared to fight.
What I'm gonna be doing is running upside his head and knocking his shoulder down.
Do you have any concern that there's going to be any running in this fight?
I hope not. I think Crawford is not that kind of fighter. He's a different. He box, and I like that. But what I know is he's a good fighter, very smart fighter, and very disciplined. He needs to get credit for that. But I am.
Canelo was attempting to convey to them that he was silent. He explained the distinction between Crawford's prior opponents who were good and those who were truly outstanding. Canelo made it clear that he was coming to take all Crawford owned and that he would fight Crawford pound for pound.
Don't say anything like I'm lying or I'm fact. He faced maybe good fighters, but there's a difference and between good fighters and elite fighters.
I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm hunting him. I'm hunting everything that he got.
Two of the best pound for pound is gonna face each other. Yeah, he's gonna find out September.
Jiren Ennis, who has previously gained notoriety online for allegedly sparring with Canelo, predicted the next clash and gave Canelo a minor advantage. He claimed that Canelo earned middleweight by being exposed to the bigger names and opponents who are inherently big.
I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo because, like I said before, he been pitting big guys out and down. And Canelo not even really a 68 gun. He probably really should be at 60 maybe. And he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So,
however, Crawford is taking a risk and is competing in a different division for the first time. Rather than making such a bold move, it is advised that Crawford test himself at middleweight before jumping straight into a fight with the undisputed champion.
The fans want to see it, so so be it. I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight, at like 60 or like at least at 60, just to get his body, the feeling of somebody a little bit bigger, and things like that. I know when you go up in weight, you gotta, develop that power and not develop the power, but like put that muscle on and be heavy and things like that. So he might not want to take a fight because he's trying to build up right now. But I think he should just to stay sharp and that way he don't have like a long layoff or anything.
Canelo's selection of a sparring partner, pointing out that Jiren Boots Ennis provides useful preparation, even though he isn't Terence Crawford's exact match. He clarified that Ennis's athleticism, switch-hitting technique, and improvisational skills provide the kind of unpredictability that, in some respects, is similar to Crawford. He stated, "I believe Boot is athletic and not the same as Terence Crawford, but being a switcher, he will leave the playbook to carry out his duties. In terms of mental condition, I believe Boots are quite beneficial. In terms of preparation, Bay said that the two combatants are doing everything possible." He went on to say that Canelo and Crawford are both taking this fight very seriously, as evidenced by the volume of sparring partners attending each camp. He believes that the choice of sparring speaks something about how elite this combat is growing.
For this fight is elite on both sides. I think that they both taking each other seriously. You could tell that by the sparring partners that they brought in. And I'm just kind of anxious to see the fight. Like going into the fight, I just didn't like the fact that Terence Crawford had to go up.
Although he has certain personal reservations, Bay said that he would love to fight. Given the difficulty of the jump, he expressed disapproval of Crawford having to move up 2 weight classes to get to this fight. Speaking candidly as a fan rather than a coach, he said that he did not want to witness Crawford, a fighter he considers to be among the best, being forced into such a strenuous jump.
Being honest, as a black boxing fan, when I take my coaching hat off, no, I don't want to see our best fighter have to go up 2 weight classes. I don't like that. But you think about it and you like, well, look, first of all, I don't want to deny that man. I wouldn't want to say nothing or even have it in my heart to deny that man that kind of financial blessing that he gonna get from fighting Canelo. Not only that, he chasing greatness. So you look at Terence Crawford's resume, we ain't always been too great on his resume. He fought Earl Spence. This Canelo fight, I just feel like it's turning his resume into an all-time.
Cadet Fortune, Crawford's strength coach, revealed that the fighter is genuinely putting in a lot of training in the mountains in order to shock everyone. The coach thinks this battle will go down in history, and Crawford is in excellent physical condition. There's a lot of excitement surrounding the fight because he thinks Crawford is strong and amazing.
I get a lot of texts asking how I'm doing, how camp is going, so I figured I could just put it up in one post. So I'm in the mountains. This dude's about to beat the brakes off Canelo and be the greatest boxer of all time, and I get to play a part in it. All is well, truly well. We good. I'm good.
Prior to the match against Crawford, VZ has been giving the training camp his all. His sparring is vicious, according to gym patrons, and every hit is fight night savagery. Rather, he is focusing on his usual techniques of explosive power, pure body blows, and uppercuts in addition to volume. Canelo understands that Crawford's pace and skill will call for the most shrewd version of himself. He has thus been brutal in his intensive sparring, bag work, and conditioning. In each session, his purpose is communicated. When the bell rings in Las Vegas, this champion is ready to unleash all of his might. One day, Oladipo offered his own interpretation of the conflict, pointing out that Crawford's philosophy may be centered on boxing and supremacy in its most basic form. Given that Crawford is already fighting at a weight that is significantly larger than any he has ever fought out of, he said that the size aspect is a sign that Canelo would press hard, which might put Crawford under stress. As Ola Adipo noted, training is one thing, but fighting in front of the lights while carrying more weight is quite another. Terence, in addition to being hailed as a man of courage, Bud Crawford is also facing harsh criticism from many sections of the boxing fraternity for his drastic weight change decision to face Canelo Alvarez. Crawford is completely avoiding the middleweight level by moving straight to super middleweight and leaving super welterweight behind. Additionally, that move has caused trainers, fans, and even former combatants to raise their eyebrows. Robles Manny took a fairly unbiased stance on a highly anticipated fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. He gave Canelo praise for his newfound ways and pointed out that the Mexican sensation has been playing well lately, reminding everyone why he is the best in the game and putting on some impressive performances at major events.
About him hurting Canelo, I think this is about him just outboxing and dominating him from that standpoint. The size would suggest to me that he actually wants to have a go at Canelo, which could impact Crawford, because ultimately he's fighting at a weight that's way heavier than he's ever done before. And sparring's one thing, under the bright lights and carrying the extra weight could be another thing. So I don't know, I feel like he's going for the kill. Maybe we're going to see an Errol Spence-like performance, but I would prefer him to stay.
Robles, meanwhile, was quick to highlight Crawford's skill, calling him a superb fighter with the extremely uncommon ability to switch techniques at any time. He said that one of Crawford's most dangerous boxing techniques nowadays is his fast counterpunch. To Robles, Canelo's momentum and Crawford's adaptability make it nearly impossible to pick a winner in this fight. Therefore, he finds it difficult to make a decision.
Canelo's not going to come into the ring at 200 pounds. It's not Benavidez. So this shouldn't need to be a size thing. I think this is a skill thing. And if it's a skill thing, the money goes on Crawford. So he doesn't need to be as big as he's.
Jojo Diaz shared his thoughts on the contest and pointed to Canelo Alvarez's strength as a potential game changer. He acknowledged that the fight will be intense, action-packed, and of the highest caliber, but he made it clear that Crawford had never experienced Canelo's power.
Highly anticipated, that Canelo versus Crawford fight.
Man, that's a great fight, but you're only as good as your last fight. And so we all know that Canelo didn't look too hot in his last fight, and obviously the opponent didn't help very much. He's a big guy, super middleweight, strong, solid. He's fought everybody there is to fight, with the exception of Benavidez, of course.
In Cano's case, the battle is more about establishing his supremacy in the super middleweight class than it is about bolstering his cause to be regarded as one of the greatest of all time. At 168 pounds, a victory here would already establish him as the unquestioned champion of all Hall of Fame champions. There might be even more at risk in Crawford's case. He is attempting to achieve something that no fighter in the four-belt era has ever done, to become uncontested in 3 weight classes. While there is a risk involved in that flying, history is also a possibility. Zittel. Sean added a biting comment about how Terence Crawford would need to approach this battle differently than those who would try to outbox Canelo. He acknowledged that the majority of people who choose Crawford believe he spins Canelo around all night long using movement and speed. However, he quickly dismissed the idea as a repetition of strategies used by past combatants like Caleb Plant and Billy Joe Saunders.
Per pound, who I consider the best fighter in the world between him and Inoue, he's just a remarkable fighter, man. He's got the total package. He can switch from conventional to southpaw. Nobody does it better. A great counterpuncher, great boxer, great ring generalship. He can fight if he chooses to. So it'd be dangerous to sit there and fight someone like Canelo, but that's just, I don't know, man. That's a toss-up. It's a 50-50 fight.
Do you see that 50?
Alvarez-Canelo versus Terence "Bud" Crawford is rightfully getting close to fever pitch. A generation of legacy is literally on the line as 2 of the greatest pound-to-pound boxers of their time square up in what isn't another massive gloves contest. Professor ML, a super welterweight fighter, offered an unbiased assessment of the Canelo-Crawford bout by balancing boxing prowess against the unflattering realities of weight divisions. His remarks serve as a reminder to supporters that in this sport, size is not just a number on the scale. One weapon is size.
Crawford, who you got?
I got Canelo winning. I think Canelo's gonna knock him out.
I think Canelo's gonna hurt him.
I think he's just too powerful, man, too strong. I hope Terence Crawford does well and stuff like that because I love the way he fights and he's a hell of a fighter and I respect him as well too. So I hope he puts up.
Although Michael acknowledged Crawford's quickness, sharp counters, and technical mastery, he cautioned that there are risks associated with moving to a larger weight that skill may not be able to overcome. He claimed that reality had made this fight into a gamble beyond anything Crawford had ever experienced, and that all transactions would be heavier and all shots would be riskier. His remarks were naturally infused with respect and awe, which explains why boxing fans all across the world find this match so compelling.
Crawford's gonna get the job done. I am officially picking Crawford to win this fight. It is still 50-50, but obviously...
he says that till he goes to Canelo.
I'm obviously gonna say that this is a 60-40 fight. And I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's gonna win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Featherweight contender Bruce Carrington analyzes the bout with a calm and determined gaze, pointing to Crawford's flexibility as the factor that separates him from Canelo's physical strength. Rather, he claimed that Canelo is bringing in strength and power. However, Crawford's length, adaptability, and fight game knowledge might be enough to mitigate that risk.
I always say this. He took Golovkin's biggest hit, and he took Bivol' biggest hit. I don't think Crawford can knock him out.
I think Terence Crawford can knock Canelo out if he catches him, because with Gennady Golovkin hit harder, but he was a lot slower. Yeah. So when Canelo seen the punches coming, he's able to embrace. I think if Terence Crawford catches Canelo with a shot that he doesn't see coming, boom, then he could hurt him.
You think so?
Reminding the supporters that Canelo Alvarez has already faced some of the greatest fighters in the history of the sport. He claimed that although the American views this fight with Crawford as historic, Kyle Lowe views it as a test on a legendary resume. In contrast, he suggested that because this is Crawford's biggest platform to date, the challenge might be even more difficult for him. However, Olapo clarified to Canelo that it was simply another Saturday night at work.
That game plan, it didn't work. So it's not gonna look like that if Crawford pulls this off. It's gonna look different than that, to your point.
Yeah.
I give the edge to Canelo right now. I'm picking.
Crawford versus Canelo is more than just a brawl. It's a clash of traditions. The sports titans have previously been defeated by one man. With all to gain, the other is taking the risk of venturing into unexplored terrain. There are many pressing questions. Will the world be shocked by Crawford's genius? Or will Canelo's background make this simply another episode in his legendary career? Fans will talk about this type of clash for decades to come. Don't only observe history unfold, Participate in it. Post your forecasts in the comments section. If you are prepared for fight night, press the like button as we move closer to September 13th. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. Which do you prefer, Crawford or Canelo?
For a reason, but like I think, you know, as far as the skill sets go, Bud has all the skills required to beat Canelo Alvarez. I think he still has more bounce in his feet than Canelo's always been kind of flat-footed. Crawford has more bounce in his feet. He's a good counter puncher. He has a good jab. He has all the things that's required to be. The only thing that's playing against him, in my opinion, is just the weight class. And my whole thing is it's weight class for a reason. It's hard to fight.
Alvarez Canelo versus Terence Bud Crawford is rightfully getting close to fever pitch. A generation of legacy is literally on the line as two of the greatest pound-to-pound boxers of their time square up in what isn't another massive gloves contest. Professor ML, a super welterweight fighter, offered an unbiased assessment of the Canelo-Crawford bout by balancing boxing prowess against the unflattering realities of weight divisions. His remarks served as a reminder to supporters that in this sport, size is not just a number on the scale. One weapon is size.
Hard is even with Crawford. This talks about like I read everything everybody talk about he's scared. I'm like, I don't think anybody that got shot in the head and drove themselves to the hospital is scared of any man born a woman. You know what I mean? So I'm rooting for Crawford. Definitely rooting for Crawford. I'm a Canelo fan. I've been a big Terence Crawford fan for a long time. So it's just like even before. I remember my dad was like, even before the Ricky Burns fight, my dad was like, hey, look, man, turn on that. I need to turn on the card early. Turn the card on early, man. Go watch this dude, Terence Crawford. And he was boxing, switch hitting, and things like that. I was like, dude, nice. You know what I mean? And I've been a fan since. And then when he bust through with Gamboa, and then he started becoming a star. And I watched all that. Yeah. I watched all that. I watched Canelo too, but it's just Crawford just.
Although he has certain personal reservations, Bay said that he would love to fight, given the difficulty of the jump. He expressed disapproval of Crawford having to move up 2 weight classes to get to this fight. Speaking candidly as a fan rather than a coach, he said that he did not want to witness Crawford, a fighter he considers to be among the best, being forced into such a strenuous jump.
Crawford, in terms of stylistically, the way how Crawford is able to adjust to anyone's style, and he's a switch hitter, and he's also boxes, he has long arms. I believe he's taller than Canelo as well too. He has the size advantage. Like, granted, he's not wider in terms of the muscle mass or whatnot, but he has what it takes to upset the boxing world and be the victor in that fight, man. I genuinely believe Bud is going to be the one that comes out with it.
A blazing and brilliant threat has been delivered by Canelo. It is not enough for Terence Crawford to just stand before him. Instead of running and expecting him to do it, he must be prepared to fight.
I feel like he needs to worry about Crawford's footwork. Canelo's footwork has never really been fast. People want to blame it on, he's getting older. No. His speed has always been like this. He couldn't keep up with Floyd. It was hard for him to keep up with Lara, Williams.
Canelo's selection of a sparring partner, pointing out that Jiren Boots Ennis provides useful preparation, even though he isn't Terence Crawford's exact match. He clarified that Ennis's athleticism, switch-hitting technique, and improvisational skills provide the kind of unpredictability that, in some respects, is similar to Crawford. He stated, I believe Boot is athletic and not the same as Terence Crawford, but being a switcher, he will leave the playbook to carry out his duties. In terms of mental condition, I believe boots are quite beneficial. In terms of preparation, Bay said that the two combatants are doing everything possible. He went on to say that Canelo and Crawford are both taking this fight very seriously, as evidenced by the volume of sparring partners attending each camp. He believes that the choice of sparring speaks something about how elite this combat is growing.
Someone that's fought the best of the best. This is nothing for him. This is a walk for Crawford. All of this is big for Crawford. But Canelo's I fought Floyd. I fought Golovkin. You know what I mean? I fought Bivol. I fought Mosley. I've done everything. This is your big rodeo. For me, this is...
Unfold. Participate in it. Post your forecasts in the comments section. If you are prepared for fight night, press the like button As we move closer to September 13th, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. Which do you prefer, Crawford or Canelo?